Hey everyone, it's me Jay, and today I'm going to be talking about a pretty serious topic that has been on my mind the past 6 months. I've been going through a really rough state, and I've been experiencing a lot of different emotions and a lot of different feelings. As you guys may know, I've been transitioning for about maybe a year and a half now, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in May, and it's been a wild roller coaster. I've dealt with happiness, I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with just a bunch of emotions all over the place. And I really want to talk about, first, the happiest that I've ever been in transitioning. That was when I reached the year mark of my transition. I had reached the year. I was so proud to look back at the old person I was and then look at the person that I was at that now, or then, I guess. And I was so happy to see the weight that I lost, the woman that I looked like, and just everything about my life seemed simple and easy. And then a few months after that, it all went downhill. And I just want to talk about why, and I want to talk about my emotional state and feelings towards why. When you first start transitioning, it's that honeymoon state of finally, I can be the person I want to be. So there's always that honeymoon stage of the transition. And then it definitely, there's ups and downs with the different experiences you've experienced, whether there's transphobia in family and stuff. I know it was really hard for me the first few months because I was really scared of what others thought, and I was really scared and about my family and what they thought. So it was really hard for me, but ultimately I fought through it, and I found happiness around 6 to a year. Around that time, I found happiness in the woman that I was becoming, in the community that I was gaining on my YouTube channel. And it was really fulfilling, and it was really nice to know that I didn't feel alone. But I transitioned in this weird period of my life where I was adulting at the same time. So, in the mix of me figuring out my identity and understanding my just sexuality, gender identity, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of all of this, I was adulting at the same time. And I was going into this stage of life where I was independent. And I had to independently, feed myself. I had to independently work and just kind of go through all of this. And going through the whole adulting age as a trans woman, as a brand new trans woman, not experiencing life as a woman yet, it's definitely difficult. It's a difficult thing to do. And I really got hit with this just millennial, not even millennial, I got hit with this just crisis of adulting around 6 months ago maybe, and it hit me really hard. I was working full time. I gave up on my classes. I withdrew to work full time, and I was just focused on making money. But I was so unhappy. I was so unfulfilled, and I was really depressed. And when you're a trans woman and you're going through these emotions, depression, the first thing that I would think about, the first thing in the back of my head is the question, what if? What if I didn't transition? What if I was still living the life with my friends making music? I was getting comfortable with my voice before transitioning. Why did I transition? Why did I ruin that? Things would have been easier. I could have still lived with my parents. I could have just, not been an adult this fast. I don't know. These questions of what if going through my mind. And then following those questions are obviously the other question. It's well, should I detransition? Should I stop all this progress that I've made, and should I just kind of go back to the life that I was living before? And it really hits you hard because I don't know, I'm confused with my life at this point. I don't feel feminine anymore. It's not because, I don't know, I was just wearing down by my job so much. I wasn't able to do my nails. I wasn't able to really do anything that made me feel feminine. I was always in my uniform. It was just this work kind of attitude, just trying to make money, just trying to survive. And I just didn't feel love for myself. And it just was really disappointing to kind of see my mind go through that, and my mind telling and giving myself an excuse to detransition. And I know I've seen some of the other trans people who detransition and say, that it wasn't meant for them. And I just wonder, maybe is that me? That mindset of just being so down in yourself. You think, is am I the same way? Should I go through this, this detransition to be happy? But then, I started thinking, and I'm like, well, Jay, you were so depressed. Every day was just the worst because you were living a life that wasn't yours. You were in a body that wasn't yours. Now you have total control of the human that you are. And I kind of had to learn that this year. I had to learn how to adult at the same time as love myself. And it's still a constant battle of self-love and things you have to experience in life. And it's not a quick escape where I can just detransition and adulting will just halt. It's not that way. Like, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to work inevitably. I'm gonna have to do this, I'm gonna have to do that. And just me detransitioning is not the answer to my problems. I'm happy this way. I've been happy this way. This is the woman that I am. This is who I've always wanted to be. It's just the matter of self-love is such a thing that's hard to do, especially for a young woman like me, just trying to figure out what her life means. And I don't know, I've always had this big problem where I shut out and I avoid so much when it comes to my future that once I have to deal with it, I get overwhelmed and it gets really hard on me. And I just try to find another reason to avoid it. And that's what this whole idea and mindset of detransitioning is for me. It's a way to avoid the real problem. And that problem is self-love and just finding a way to love myself as me. For 19 years, I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to be the person that I was. And now that I am, and I actually look back, I'm happy. I've made waves with people. I've made waves in my life. I'm just experiencing things that I've always wanted to experience. And I can finally say that I am the woman that I want to be. But I do have to find a way to love myself. And that was my biggest New Year's resolution this year was, just really try and discover your independence, your love for yourself, and just really discover what you want to do with your life and who you want to be and who you want to become. I often get sent a lot of these detransitioning videos by people who are against the community, trying to prove some kind of point, like, trans people aren't the thing, it's a choice. But me being trans was never a choice for me. It was life or death for me. It was, if I stayed in this body any longer, I was gonna kill myself. And that doesn't seem like a choice to me. And I hate with that. I get sent these videos constantly saying, react to this. Like, what do you think about this? In this most passive way, because they think that they found some solution or some answer to disprove trans people. And I don't know, I think that bugs me the most is that these real people with real problems, gender identity is such a wide spectrum. People go through experiences that they soon realize that maybe it wasn't them after all. And they go through these really, really hardships where they experience such a big depression, and they decide to share their videos and they decide to share their detransitioning stories because they want to show that, that there is hope, and it's not crazy to feel this way. But I get sent these people's struggles, these videos, in a way to kind of disprove trans people. And I think that's what upsets me the most about detransitioning videos, is that people just use them as something that's negative when there's something that's really positive. Because there are people out there that may go through this transition and may decide ultimately, I'm not happy now. I'm not the person that I thought this was going to be. And, that's fine. Gender identity is a wide spectrum, and it is something that it's not easy to understand. It's not going to be easy to understand, and it shouldn't be so pressured on people. Gender is not binary, and I think we need to kind of start understanding that more. But ultimately with me, I am dealing with a lot of depression. I am dealing with the whole millennial adulting, where it's really, really what the fuck do I do with my life? Bachelor degrees, they don't mean anything. I'm not guaranteed a job. Nothing means, I just feel so stuck. So it's just the mix of transitioning stress with adulting stress, and ultimately I am a trans woman of color. I am a beautiful trans woman, and I love myself. And it's something that I say very just softly, because it's something that I'm working on. And I know that this is who I am at the end of the day. I know that this is ultimately the reason that I'm happy and I'm still alive, and just me transitioning, me being the woman that I am. I know that that is the reason why I can keep fighting every single day. That's the reason why I'm still here. It's the reason why I'm making this video. So at the end of the day, I just know that this is who I am, and this is how it's going to be, and there's not going to be any detransitioning video. My coming out to my dad video, a lot of people against it will comment saying, I'm going to come back in 6 months, and he is going to be detransitioned, and like, because a lot of people don't believe this is real. And I just want to say to all those people that said that, fuck you, look at me, I'm still here, and I am still standing strong, and I'm still going to stand strong. I'm going to be an advocate for those who go through this, who feel so lost, because I know how this transitioning feels. I know how this life feels whenever you're not the person you want to be. So with all that being said, I'm still here. I'm still standing strong. And I'm just going to fight through it. I'm going to figure out my life this year. I made a bunch of different plans. I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday from now on this channel. And I'm also going to work on some other stuff. I'm going to hint to you guys. If you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm going to probably hint some of the stuff that I'm working on that. So please feel free to like follow me on those. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon. I also have some music that I sell. So those links will all be in the description. Transitioning and being trans is 100% real. It's 100% valid, and no matter what you feel, it's 100% valid. So don't let anyone stop you or hold you back. For the woman, the man, the non-binary, the agender, whatever you identify as, don't let anyone hold you back from who you are and what you identify as and what you believe in, because you're you, you're beautiful, and just fuck everyone else. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to end this video before I start crying. It's a really emotional topic for me to talk about. But I think this year is ultimately the year where I'm gonna love myself, and I'm just gonna fuck what anyone else thinks, fuck who's holding me back. I'm just gonna live my life the way that I want to live my life, and I hope you guys can do that as well. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then. Some things just involve second guessing.